Welcome to the Bosman Viewing, and today is episode 3 of Play On, the more raw and uncut section of the Bosman Viewing, where we're going to pick a football topic to discuss and see where it goes. So for today's topic of discussion, it's going to be about Manchester City in 1997. Now for some of the younger football fans out there, Manchester City could be viewed as one of the top clubs in the Premier League and I guess European football, but for others, and myself included, we can still remember a time when Manchester City were really struggling. So let's go back in time to 1997, when people were flocking to the movies to watch Titanic, when they were dancing along to a strange track called Barbie Girl, and Manchester City were stuck in the First Division. Following on from their relegation from the Premier League in 1996, many had anticipated a quick return for them, but that wasn't going to be in the cards for the citizens. The 96-97 season had been eventful to say the least. They had 5 different managers over the course of that campaign, losing 19 games, and they were only able to finish in 14th place, in what was then being called the First Division. The start of the 97-98 campaign, Man City had Frank Clark in charge of the club, and his number one priority was to get back to the Premier League, or they were calling it the Premiership back then. And City's number one player and the main man at the club was Georgi Kinkladze. Now anyone that remembers seeing this guy play is going to testify he is a genius with a football. His jinking runs and dribbling past players, he got fans off their seats, and he's still idolised by a certain generation of Man City fans today. Now after being stuck in the First Division for a season, there were speculations that Barcelona and Inter Milan were actually trying to sign Kinkladze, but he was viewed as the guy to get them back to the top flight. So City tied him down to a new 3-year deal, and they made him the highest paid player in the club's history. Some of the other notable attacking players that were in and around the team at this time was German striker Uwe Rosler, Scottish forward Paul Dickhoff, and then they signed a certain club legend in Sean Goater. So there was reason to have optimism about a potential promotion back to the Premier League, since it looks like there was plenty of goals in the side. Now off the field and outside the squad, the club was also introducing a new badge, which didn't really go well with fans, with a new look with a golden eagle and shield that was positioned underneath 3 stars. Now when asked what the 3 stars represented, they did give a really honest response: it was just for style. Along with the badge change, Man City also ended a 63-year-long relationship with Umbro in 1997, and they signed with Kappa to create their new kit. Now Kappa at this time was one of the most fashionable kit creators in world football, because they were creating shirts for Barcelona and Juventus, so this was a big deal for a First Division Man City. Now Kappa, they chose to go with a much deeper shade of blue in the design choice. Along with the then renowned style, they had the Kappa logo lined along the sleeves. Another nice detail they added was in the neckline, when they put a maroon triangle placed amongst the sky blue. Also in 1997, Manchester City were still located at Main Road, the stadium they had called home since 1923. It's a unique and traditional 35,000 seater stadium, and they had just recently redeveloped it at a cost of £16 million to bring it up to the standards of that time. Another £40 million worth of development was planned to be spent on Main Road, but after they were relegated from the Premier League, the plans were put on hold. Now let's get to the football of this time, and to put it bluntly, it didn't go well. City were only able to win 2 of the first 8 games of the season. Even with a massive 6-0 win against Swindon Town amongst them, morale was low. And to make things worse, injuries began to pile up. Uwe Rosler, he was the first to be ruled out for a number of games. Then star man Kinkladze, he actually crashed his brand new Ferrari and injured his back in the process, and that required 30 stitches. Then by November, the Sky Blues had only won 3 games from 16 matches, and they were in the relegation zone. By February, the club was still struggling, and after they lost 2-1 to Ipswich Town, they were dumped to the bottom of the table. Manager Frank Clark, he was sacked, then he was replaced by Joe Royle. This was an attempt to get them saved from a potential relegation to the second division. Royle actually put together an initial good run of form, winning 3 of the first 4 games in charge, but then the club's form dipped again, keeping them rooted in the relegation battle. Ultimately, it came down to the final game of the season to try and stay up, and it was just too little too late. Even though they won that final game against Stoke City, the other results that day went against them, and it sent Manchester City into the 3rd tier of English football for the first time in their history. So for any young City fans that may be joining us for this trip down memory lane, keep in mind, anytime a few results don't go your way, not too long ago, this was the reality for Manchester City fans. Alright, well that's us at the end of episode 3 of Play On and our quick rundown of Manchester City in 1997. Hope you enjoyed it, and give us your feedback and let us know if there's any other football topics you want covered. We have plenty more football videos on the channel now, so go and check them out. Thumbs this one up if you can, it really helps. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you on the next one.